Okay, with Christmas right around the corner, I know some people are looking forward to making some doll clothes for their grandkids or their children, whatever. But money's really tight and people can't afford to buy a lot of the fancy clothes that you see out there nowadays. So I'm going to do some videos and make some very simple doll clothes that anybody could do. And I'm going to be using these fat quarters. The fat quarters you usually can get, they're $2.49 at Joann's, but usually they're on sale 2 for $3 or 99 cents depending on what kind you get. You can get these at even Walmart, but I can't exactly remember how much I paid for it. But I bought the peace sign ones there. Okay, so a lot of people are confused. They don't understand the difference between a regular quarter of fabric and a fat quarter. Well, I'll break it down for you. A yard of fabric is 36 inches by, this is your normal fabric cotton, 36 by 44, 45 inches. That's your normal yard of fabric. So if you take a bolt of fabric up to the counter and ask them to cut you a quarter yard of fabric, what they're going to do is they're going to cut you a piece of fabric 9 inches by 44, 45, and you're going to have 2 salvages. Well, that's fine, but if you're going to make a dress like this little tunic, I'm going to show you how to make a little tunic out of a fat quarter. If you have that quarter yard cut, this pattern won't fit on it because you're going to get 44 inches by a 9-inch cut. And if you check this pattern piece, it's longer than 9 inches, and I'm actually going to make it even longer for a dress instead of a tunic. So let's measure that. So if I did that, I need at least 9.5 inches to cut this out of a quarter yard of fabric, so it's not going to fit. But if I buy a fat quarter, I can get this dress to fit on this piece of fabric. And the reason why it's called a fat quarter, it's the way they cut it. So let's just say this was a yard of material and there was a fold up there. So if they cut that fold, I'm going to end up with 22 inches of fabric this way by 36 inches. So then they take the 36 inches and fold it this way, and you end up with half of 36, which is 18 inches. So what you're doing is you're getting a quarter yard of fabric, but they're cutting it not by the yard, they're cutting it in 4 equal pieces. So every time, so it's going to equate to be 18 inches by 22 or 22.5, and you're going to have 1 selvage on a fat quarter. So here's your selvage. So if you don't know what the grain of your fabric is, you'll always know on a fat quarter that you're going to have at least 1 selvage on that piece. Well, you should only have 1 piece of selvage on, 1 selvage on that fat quarter. So now we've got a piece of fabric 18 by 22 inches. Well, it's 22 inches this way, 18 this way. And now I'll be able to not only make my tunic, but I'm going to be able to fit it all very easily on a fat quarter. Whereas I couldn't even make this on the grain with a quarter yard of fabric. So you may even get them rolled up like this at the quilt shops. You can get them rolled up like this on a roll or get them squared out. But if you look at them and you take them home and open them up, they're all going to be pretty much the same size, give or take, anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. But they're all going to be cut the same exact way. You're always going to have 1 selvage, and there is your fat quarter. That's the difference between a quarter yard of fabric and a fat quarter. So it's an easy way to buy fabric, and you get, and I pre-wash all my fat quarters. So when you get them, you want to just throw them in the wash machine, or I mean just rinse them out, get the sizing out, iron them out, because you will still get this just like regular fabric. They just cut it in 4 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to do some, we're going to come back and I'm going to adjust the pattern because this is a Journey Girl pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tunic that I made for the Journey Girl and I'm going to adjust it for the My Life dolls from Walmart and the Our Generation dolls from Target. Because this is just a little too tiny for those girls. I mean, they fit, but not very well. And then we'll get started on a fall tunic for the girls. I'll be right back.